The first thing you learn is that falling from your horse hurts less than being left behind. You're only 8 years old. The wind tears across the endless grasslands, carrying the smell of horses, smoke, and distant rain. Your fingers are numb around the rough leather reins as your pony suddenly veers sideways. The world spins. The sky becomes earth. You slam into the hard steppe, every breath punched from your chest. By the time you look up, your family is already riding away. No one turns back. Not because they don't love you. Because on the Mongolian steppe, hesitation can kill an entire clan. If you cannot climb back into the saddle before the riders disappear over the horizon, wolves, raiders, or winter will finish what the fall started. This is the first lesson every Mongol child learns. Survive. Before we continue your journey across the greatest land empire in history, take a second to subscribe. There are many lives history never lets us live. But here, you'll ride through every one of them. You force yourself upright, your knees shaking. The pony hasn't run far. It stands grazing, as if nothing happened. You grab its mane, miss the stirrup twice, and finally pull yourself onto its back. When you crest the next hill, your clan is waiting, not cheering, watching. Your father gives only a small nod before turning his horse and continuing west. That nod is worth more than 100 compliments. Out here, words are precious. Actions matter. You were born into a world without cities, castles, or stone roads. Home is a circle of felt tents called gurs, packed onto wagons whenever fresh pasture calls. Every possession must travel. Every family depends on its animals: horses, sheep, goats, camels, and cattle. Lose the herd, and you lose your future. From the moment you can walk, you learn to ride. Soon you'll ride before you can properly read a face. The horse becomes more than transportation. It is your companion, your weapon, your shelter, and often the only thing standing between you and death. Each dawn begins the same. Milk the mares. Gather the herd. Repair tack. Practice until your legs ache. Then practice again. There are no weekends. No childhood as later civilizations would understand it. Every game teaches survival. Every race prepares you for war. You don't know it yet, but somewhere beyond the horizon, a man named Temujin is beginning to unite the scattered tribes. One day, the world will know him by another name, Genghis Khan, and before you're grown, you'll be riding beside the storm he unleashes. By the time you reach your 15th winter, riding is no longer something you think about. Horse and rider move as one. You can mount at a full sprint, sleep in the saddle during long marches, lean so far over the side of your horse that your body nearly brushes the grass, making yourself almost impossible to hit with an enemy arrow. Now comes the harder lesson. The bow. Every day begins with hundreds of shots. Standing still, trotting, galloping, turning, shooting forward, shooting behind, shooting while your horse leaps over streams or uneven ground. Your hands blister until they harden into leather. The Mongol composite bow is unlike anything your enemies have seen. Built from layers of wood, horn, and sinew, it stores enormous power despite its compact size. From horseback, it can punch through armor at astonishing distances. Accuracy matters. Speed matters more. Your instructors don't praise perfect shots. They praise the archer who looses 6 arrows before another man fires 3. Soon you stop counting. Drawing the string becomes as natural as breathing. Then comes the famous maneuver every child dreams of mastering. The feigned retreat. You charge with your unit, loose a volley, then suddenly turn your horse, as if fear has seized you. The enemy cheers and breaks formation, chasing what they believe are frightened nomads. That is exactly what your commanders want. Without slowing your horse, you twist your body backward and fire over its tail. Arrow after arrow whistles into the advancing soldiers. This is the shot travelers across Asia will later call the Parthian shot, though among your people it is simply another skill every warrior must possess. The pursuers don't realize they've become the hunted, until discipline collapses around them. When the signal horn echoes across the plains, your entire unit wheels around in perfect unison. The hunters become prey. Victory often arrives before the enemy understands the battle has truly begun. But skill alone doesn't make a Mongol warrior. Discipline does. Your commander reminds everyone that stolen supplies belong to the army, not the individual. A warrior who abandons his unit for personal glory risks execution. If one man fails, 10 may answer for his mistake. Loyalty is enforced with terrifying certainty, because survival depends upon absolute trust. There is little room for heroes. Only soldiers. One evening, messengers thunder into camp. Their horses are exhausted, foam dripping from their mouths. Word spreads faster than fire through dry grass. Temujin has united the tribes. At a great gathering, he has accepted a new title, Genghis Khan. The endless feuds between Mongol clans are ending. Now every rider faces the same direction. Not toward another tribe, toward the horizon. And beyond that horizon, waits an empire that has no idea the fastest army in history has just begun to move. The campaign begins before sunrise. There is no dramatic speech, no trumpet announcing glory. Only the quiet creak of saddles, the snorting of thousands of horses, and a line of riders stretching farther than your eyes can follow. Each warrior rides with several spare horses. When one grows tired, you switch to another without stopping. While enemy armies march on foot for weeks, you cover astonishing distances in days. Entire kingdoms wake, believing the Mongols are still hundreds of miles away. By sunset, you're already outside their walls. The first city you approach looks impossible to conquer. Its stone walls tower above the plains. Archers line the battlements. Heavy gates stand closed. The defenders laugh when they see a sea of horsemen with no siege towers in sight. They stop laughing a few days later. Engineers from conquered lands build powerful catapults. Chinese specialists assemble siege machines that hurl massive stones across the sky. Smoke rises as buildings inside the city catch fire. The defenders expected nomads. Instead, they face an army that learns from every civilization it defeats. When the gates finally open, you ride through streets unlike anything from your childhood. Stone houses replace felt tents. Markets overflow with silk, spices, metalwork, and foods whose names you've never heard. Victory doesn't smell heroic. It smells like smoke, frightened horses, broken timber, and exhausted men. Some cities surrender immediately after hearing what happened to those that resisted. Others choose to fight until the very end. Every battle leaves another scar, another memory that follows you into sleep. One night, beside a small fire, you ask an older warrior if fear ever disappears. He doesn't answer right away. Instead, he sharpens an arrowhead until it catches the firelight. Finally, he says, "The brave man isn't the one without fear. He is the one who rides anyway." Those words stay with you. Because tomorrow, you're crossing another river into another kingdom filled with strangers who have been told monsters are coming. From their walls, that's exactly what you look like. Yet around your own campfires, you see something different. Men laughing, friends sharing dried meat, warriors repairing each other's saddles, young riders missing home but refusing to admit it. History often remembers armies as unstoppable machines. Living inside one, you discover something else. Every rider misses someone. Every victory costs someone. Every mile west carries you farther from the endless grasslands, where you first learned to climb back onto a frightened pony. The empire grows larger with every season. But so does the distance between the person you were and the warrior you've become. Ahead lies the greatest challenge yet. The campaign that will test not only your skill with a bow, but your loyalty to the man the world now fears more than any king alive. Years pass beneath the rhythm of galloping hooves. The map of the world changes so quickly that even seasoned merchants struggle to keep up. Kingdoms that once seemed eternal now fly the banners of the Great Khan. Trade routes that were plagued by bandits become safer under Mongol patrols. Messengers race across the empire through a network of relay stations, carrying orders and news at remarkable speed. You have grown older too. The eager boy who once struggled to climb back onto his pony has become a veteran whose face is weathered by wind, sun, and countless campaigns. Then, during another march across the endless steppe, the whispers begin. The Great Khan is dead. At first, no one believes them. Genghis Khan has always seemed larger than life, as permanent as the open sky itself. Yet even the greatest conqueror cannot outrun time forever. When the news is finally confirmed, silence spreads through the camp. No cheers, no speeches, only thousands of riders sitting quietly beside the horses that carried them across half the known world. You think back to the stories your father once told around the fire, of a boy named Temujin, whose family had been abandoned, who survived hunger, betrayal, and war before uniting tribes that had hated one another for generations. You realize you have lived through history that future generations will struggle to imagine. Your horse nudges your shoulder, searching for another handful of grain. It doesn't understand empires. It only knows the bond forged through years of trust. Perhaps that's the greatest lesson of your life. Not conquest, not glory, but partnership. A Mongol horse archer is never truly alone. Every victory depends on the animal beneath him, the warriors beside him, and the discipline that holds them together when fear threatens to tear everything apart. One final time, you ride across the grasslands. The wind feels exactly as it did when you were 8 years old. The horizon is still endless. The sky is still impossibly wide. Only you have changed. Long after your own name is forgotten, travelers will speak of horsemen who appeared like thunder, struck with impossible speed, and vanished beyond the horizon before anyone could stop them. Some will call them barbarians. Others will call them military geniuses. The truth is more complicated. You were neither a legend nor a monster. You were a person born into a world where survival demanded mastery, loyalty, and relentless endurance. And as the sun disappears behind the sea of grass, you guide your faithful horse toward home, knowing that history will remember the empire. But only you will remember what it truly felt like to live it.